Hello, welcome to Sam's Beginner Guide to Building Left Hand Chords. I'm Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services, and I am a 45-year church musician and a 54-year musician who has been involved in music from an early age. So I have heard chords used in many songs, and here's an approach that I'm going to share with the beginners who are becoming familiar with the piano from a right hand standpoint, but having trouble struggling finding those chords in their left hand. We're in the key of C, which is a good starting point to begin. So, I always stress that you practice scales on both hands. Because in those scales is where you're going to build your chords from. Now, for those of us that are in the beginning stage, you've been taught that this is a C major chord, C being the root, and in the left hand is the same chord with C being the root. So, being that you can now get this training, whichever finger you want to use, and watch my finger, that's most important. If I were to omit some of these chords, so let's say I were to omit the C here, the middle C, doesn't sound too fancy. But if I were to add an additional note on my left hand, rather an additional note here, slide this note over, now the whole chord changes. But for training the left hand stays in that place. Holding the left hand here is training these three fingers and this hand to stay in that spot. And the minute I want to shift, go back to. Now the left hand is just knowing, just from muscle memory, that that's where I want to go. But if I want to throw a seventh chord in there, a C seventh chord, because I've trained my hands to know where to find that note, it's automatically going to go there. And that's all because I've worked on from a chord is merely a broken scale. So if we go with the C, F, G, C, first inversion, root, first inversion, second inversion. So at what point do you begin to feel more comfortable with your left hand playing chords? When you find that one song that is going to give your left hand a reason to form chords. We'll do Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And we'll give the left hand chords. Remember, we just did those chords? I covered those basic chords in my left hand earlier to show you how you can now incorporate what you've just trained the hand to do. If we're going to follow that down, and we'll give the G in there. Now, from a beginning standpoint, your left hand is still not trained. I'm working with mine to become more fluent in movement. A different way of doing chords. Just to get this open movement here. Now, you don't have to do that, but you can do this. training the hand how to move in a chord fashion, because that'll come in handy when you want to do see how they all now work together. The right hand is still doing the melody, but because I'm able to extend chords and a little bit of bass on my left hand, it now becomes a full composition. All still growing on this chord. And incorporating more chords with that. Another exercise might be, let's see, Mary Had a Little Lamb. There we go. Now, what did I do there? I substituted chords I would use for my right hand and allowed the left hand to cross into the right hand's range. Let me see. I'm going to go A major. All right, that's your first lesson. More to come.